the New York City Save Jeju Action Committee. We are ordinary citizens who work, study, and live in the city, and we formed this committee because we want to show our support for the people and life in Gangjeong village, and we want to support the prospects for peace in Korea from where we are in New York City. We are gathered here today because the situation in Gangjeong is urgent. Since March 8th, the South Korean government has been blasting the unique rock formation of Gureombi of the coastline, and has since December already destroyed much of the underwater coral and sea life. South Korean farmers have lost their land, and unarmed villagers are suppressed daily with violence from riot cops. And film critic and Jeju native Yang Yun-mo is now in the 36th day of a hunger strike in jail. We have called on the South Korean Consulate many times to set a meeting and to hear our demands. We have left messages, but they never responded. And so we had no choice but to stand here in front of the consulate and assemble and let the world know that we will not stand for this injustice in Jeju. The South Korean government has not listened to Gangjeong village, where 94% of the residents voted against the base, and where they have fought for 5 years to stop the destruction of their land and their way of life. So as you can see, we brought Jeju to New York. We have brought the endangered crabs, the shrimp, the frogs, and all of the endangered coral and the clams that the Haenyeo divers fish, and the citrus that the farmers grow. And we brought them here to remind us of what is being lost and threatened in Gangjeong every day. We cannot just stand by and watch as destruction is happening and as peace in Korea is threatened. And we are saddened and angered that the government has begun blasting, even though the governor of Jeju himself has ordered the stoppage of the dynamite. First of all, the base building process in Jeju is undemocratic. The villagers were not informed, and they did not get to participate in a vote before they began building. And currently, the riot police are suppressing and beating them. And the villagers have tried every means possible over the past 5 years to stop this base, but they are constantly met with violence. Second of all, this military base is unjustified. It is explained as being necessary for national security for South Korea, but no one is convinced. It is not near anything but China. And so in terms of what this base will probably do is it will probably host South Korean Navy as well as U.S. Aegis destroyers and warships. And these are all gathered there to monitor and threaten China. And in the end, this will only bring harm to Jeju. We believe that instead of more warships and more bases, South Korea should pursue negotiation and dialogue to foster this peace. And the people of Jeju have already suffered enough, especially after the terrible April 3rd, 1948 massacre. The base is completely unnecessary and is completely destructive. For us who value life and who value nature and biodiversity, Jeju is home to UNESCO World Heritage Sites and eco-parks. Its beauty and its culture are unique in Korea and the world, and it breaks our hearts to see the village torn apart and to see the unique ecosystem destroyed forever. So in short, we are here because we value life, we value peace, and we have to stand up for justice. We believe in a world where governments should serve their people and where their voices must be heard. Stop the violence against villagers and citizens. Stop the naval base. Preserve Jeju as an island of peace.
In 1898, the United States colonized the Philippines and staked their largest U.S. air and naval bases in the Philippines. And we fought a very long and hard battle to oust the U.S. bases in 1991. And we were victorious in this fight. That's why we believe that our struggle, with the support and the solidarity of various nationalities and comrades around the world, the struggle of the Jeju Island will be triumphant as well. With our vigilance and continued solidarity, we will be able to get rid of all U.S. military troops and bases in the Asia-Pacific region. We believe that their presence in the Asia-Pacific region is not for the purpose of peacekeeping, because right now there is no threat in the Asia-Pacific region other than the U.S. military troops itself. We believe that their presence there is to protect the U.S. interests and the U.S. investments in the region, and that their main target is obviously North Korea and China and all the forces that are fighting for national liberation in the Asia-Pacific region. That is why it's very important that all people who are fighting against U.S. imperialism, against neoliberalism, should unite and fight against the presence of the U.S. military troops, not only in the Asia-Pacific region, but all over the world. Again, in solidarity, we believe that we will be triumphant if we continue to fight. Down with U.S. imperialism, out with the U.S. military troops in the Asia-Pacific region and everywhere in the world.
I'm very tired of going to funerals for U.S. war games, and one such funeral I attended yesterday was the result of the death of 16 Afghan civilians at the hands of one U.S. soldier. And I am here again today wearing all black on a beautiful spring day in protest of U.S. war games in Asia Pacific and their part in the construction of this base on Jeju.
You know, the bullies of the world continue to take the lives of innocent sea life, but also innocent children, mothers, and people, and farmers. And it is our duty and job to continue to work and unite together in this struggle.
There's a deep similarity between global militarism and domestic militarism, and that much of the same riot gear, riot police that are used against protesters around the world are used against protesters here in New York City and Oakland and around the country. And that this is a chance to unite struggles and build concrete campaigns against those same forces that are arrayed against our movement.
I feel very privileged to be here because I always want to be with people who are really dedicated to making this a better world. And as many of you do know, I've been here around a long time, like not 100, but 97 years. And I just finished saying to somebody, I would love to depart from a world that is full of flowers and beauty and real peace.
And these are all the signatures that have been gathered online. They're 4 to a page, and we have about 6,000 of the 15,000 here. And we have been trying to meet with the consulate, and they never came back to us with a meeting time or date. So we decided that on behalf of all these people around the world, we will deliver this petition to the government here.
I think what we're doing is a very important act. We must support the people on Gangjeong, Jeju Island. It is intended to be an island of peace. It must not be destroyed. It is part of the conscience of this world.
Where did our State Department escort go? Hi.
I can't accept it. I mean, if they come down and outside, it's fine, but escort outside, I mean, I can't be inside.
여보세요?
I can open door. Please call yellow paper.
Oh, okay.
We will call that number. Thank you.
Yeah, I think it's intercom, right? We were told to call this number by the guy on the... I'm gonna do speaker. Hello? I tried the operator. I've never heard of a consulate where they make you call a phone number. 전화해야 돼요.
What if people want to go into the consulate who are not part of our
I know, we're
group?
not answering.
I'm not letting anybody in.
안 받아요. 계속 메시지 남겨주세요. 그런 메시지만 나와요. There's only a message to leave a message, and there's no one answering the phone.
This person who answered here.
Yeah, he said I cannot let you enter. You have to call the number.
That number. But there's you call the number. And there's no
Yeah.
answer.
Okay.
If they want to accept it, they'll come down. If they're not going to want to accept it, they'll let me know. And that's it. Because when I spoke to them
We'll call
upstairs,
on your behalf.
they didn't want to accept it. We can't force them to accept anything.
But the thing is, that guy at the door keeps saying call that number, but
Okay.
that number goes nowhere. It just goes into a message.
Okay, I'm going to make a phone call and see if they want to accept it then, okay?
Okay.
All right.
I'm going to see what they'll call. Sure.
문 연다, 문 연다, 문 연다.
Hey, hey, hey!
No.
No. Let's go outside. We'll make the phone call on your behalf. Yes. We'll make your phone call on your behalf. Just wait outside.
I don't understand why they don't.
Okay, we're making the call. Tony right there is making the call on your behalf. Okay? We appreciate your help.
Why can't somebody come down and receive it?
That's what we're calling for right
Why
now.
can't you escort us up to the lift?
Because I'm not allowed to.
You're with the State Department?
Yes, ma'am.
And you work with all the missions?
Right, and on their behalf, we're making a phone call for you.
All right.
Okay?
We'll wait and see.
Okay, let's go outside.
Well, let's see what did he say?
I'm only going to ask you one more time.
They're not going to accept it? Will they send somebody down to receive it?
You can leave it here on the front step if you like, and they can receive it if you like.
That person that was just here could have accepted it.
Somebody right there?
And that's their choice not to. So if you could just walk outside with me, very helpful.
This is not appropriate. These are thousands of people who are
Completely
speaking
understand,
out,
ma'am. If we could talk
leading
about it
anger.
outside of their mission, I would appreciate it.
Leaving it outside where it's windy, where it gets dirty, that's no way to have.
And they can choose to accept it or not. So let's go outside and we can talk about it there.
I'm sure you could intervene and negotiate
And as a
something.
member of the State Department, I'm not going to do that.
Can you give your name?
No comment.
Why
Let's
is
go
the State
outside, please.
Department acting
Please.
as security for the Korean consulate?
Yes, that's what I would like to know as well.
No comment. Please, can we exit the building? One more time. Thank you.
Can you deliver this on behalf of
I
our
cannot.
delegation? No? But you have access.
Please, can we just exit the building and then we can discuss it outside? We would like to work with you for your protests in the
Okay, so let's
future,
not
and this is the last time.
Listen, ladies, we've
We
been
can't
more
just
than.
leave it. This is important
Yeah.
stuff. We don't treat things like some tissue paper.
Understood.
We don't work for the mission. I'm a New York City police detective. I'm here on your guys' behalf. But if somebody doesn't want to accept it, we can't force them to accept it. You gotta understand. Right now, if they don't want you on their property, I'm gonna ask you one more time. You have to come outside because this is right now you're in private property. If I call them, they come downstairs and they say that you're trespassing, then we have to take another action.
And when you called
Okay?
them, what did they say?
They said that they're not willing to accept it, just like they told me upstairs.
And
Okay.
they said that whether or not it's South Korean citizens or American citizens.
They just said they're not going to accept any petition and papers, whatever you guys want to give them. They don't want to accept.
You have your mission. I mean, he's a New York City police, but you are with the State Department. Your mission is right over there.
Yes, it is.
Somebody there could make a call here and say, please
If you want to
acknowledge
arrange that, that's certainly something for you to do.
You can't. You don't have that authority.
No, ma'am.
I'm shocked. I really am that they are afraid of accepting
Let's be shocked
the
outside
word.
and we can talk about it outside.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, please just take a step back for me.
We're gonna step
Please.
outside.
Thank you.
Thank you.
very much for your cooperation.
We
Yeah.
can't enforce any kind of laws once you step in that building. You understand?
right.
Technically, that's South Korea, and that's how we treat it. Like a lot of times, they don't accept it. Most of the time, they don't.
Well, when there was something that was being done at Fukushima,
Yes.
where they were burning the debris from it,
Okay.
thousands of Japanese mothers got together. They had petitions. They sent somebody down to
Right.
receive it.
Every mission house is different. Like I said, it's depending on them. We can't force them to do anything.
I think had we stayed, we would have been arrested. At this point, we were not prepared to get arrested this time. I'm not so sure about the future. These voices and all of us who are here must be heard.
Today demonstrated by the South Korean government an unwillingness to listen to the voices of their citizens and unwilling to hear the opinions of people around the world. This is not the end of our struggle. Today's attempt to deliver the petition was only one part of our many steps that we are going to take to defend Gangjeong. And then we're going to bring all of the sea life and we're going to bring it to the entryway of the consulate. They're not letting us in, but the sea life of Jeju and everyone's lives and livelihoods and memories and dreams, we're going to leave it here so that they can't forget. Save Jeju Island of peace. No more bases in our seas. Don't need no ages for ships. We're Gureombi lives and we
bases plus. We dominate those countries. They fear and don't want us. Then let the U.S. people know our bases we must yield. We only want our bases on a baseball field. There is nothing like a base, nothing in this world. And we have them every place. We will soon have them up in space.
We don't want your Aegis warships. Keep your hands off endangered species. We don't want your Aegis warships. Keep your hands off endangered species. Hush,